Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about basically regards to a response that I got in a video I had from a video I had recently made. Some of you may remember that I did a video recently about the lack of the support in the astrological community, and somebody got irritated and they wrote me on my Instagram page in a comment on an Instagram post. And this person really went ballistic, seemed very irate and enraged by this, and started insulting me, saying different things. I had a shirtless picture on one of my Instagram posts, and the person said something about get some B cups, and something about cancer men. When cancer men, not the disease, people that have the cancer sun sign, said that cancer men are pathetic, this and that, and just hurled a lot of derogatory remarks toward me. And something also regarding the GoFundMe, and saying that the fundraiser, that I was scamming, and it's not a scam if you legitimately need the money for what you're stating for in the video. It's just taken me longer than average to extricate myself from the situation I'm in. So the thing is, I haven't. The person also said something about, that it's about me begging, for money for years. Well, the thing is, yes, it can appear to be begging and groveling, but that wouldn't be done if I could have gotten somebody to take me, and I had also been begging to get, somebody to give me assistance in terms of a living situation. It was explained in other videos that I've had difficulty in finding a living situation on my own, and partly due to having bad credit history when I became homeless, in that period from 2006 to 2010, and it's hard to get some kind of approval for a place, and also due to the limitations in income. You know, um, the thing is, I don't meet the criteria, monetarily to get approved in a lot of places, and that had been explained as well in previous videos. And the thing about, this is, when somebody, responds, with that kind of hate, it tells me that a lot of it is they're projecting their own anger in themselves, I believe, onto others. And the person, really, I call these people like keyboard warriors that do this, and they show all this uncommon valor and courage, and want to be Prince Valiant or whatever. And the person that wrote me didn't even have a regular username. It was some cryptic name, something Valley, VALI, and then followed by like a number, like a code. It was just a cryptic name. It was something where the person obviously wanted to do this in a way, I believe, to conceal his or her identity. I told someone about this, and she said this was likely a woman or female that did this. That was just upset. The fact that in the negative comments that the person left me, it was something about again that cancer men, people, the cancer. I guess she was talking about sun sign, zodiac sign cancer men are pathetic, so it would indicate that it was likely from a disgruntled female. But the thing about this is, it's terrible that the only reply that I could remember was in that comments, in a comment on that post I had on Instagram, and it was a derogatory one. To the best of my knowledge, I have not got. There was no positive feedback from anybody, which is just really validating, what I'm saying about, the lack of support. And I know I don't have the comments on that video, and I don't believe I'm going to put, enable the comments on this one. But it just, again, it just kind of validates what I've been saying about the lack of support, and where we are in life. Somebody had to take all that energy and time to hate on me, to say, negative, derisive comments about me, but nobody was able to take that time to even write me and ask, hey, Edwin, how is your living situation? Are you okay? And it just shows, the lack of compassion that we have collectively in society. And I think the person may have been upset too, because maybe I hit home on something, and it may have applied or pertained to him or her. In that video I made about the lack of support in the astrological community, I had also stated, something about, that it's interesting how a lot of people will gravitate towards celebrities and will comment on their posts, and they won't even give that same time to their friends or acquaintances, the people that are truly in need, and those that would actually respond to them when they're writing to others. So it's just ironic how things are in life, that people, they emphasize others that are oblivious to them, that could care less about them, that won't even respond to them in many cases. But the people like such as me, the ones that are in need, the people that would actually respond to you, I, do not get the support, unfortunately. I could actually be, a decent, a good friend to somebody, and all it would take, could be just to write me and ask me, how I am. I mean, it looks like nobody's going to give me, any kind of living situation, and I can't believe that I've had to do this for this long a time period, and nothing has come of it. It doesn't really take much to give somebody a little spot, where they could just lay their head on. The main thing I needed was just having the internet, because I do my astrology videos daily. I'm not, really that particular about the place, but anyway, that's something that's like a moot point at this point in time, because it looks like nobody's going to do this. So it is what it is. But again, it's terrible that the only response I was able to get was a negative response. And I mean, this person, to put something in a comment on an Instagram post, was pretty desperate to leave something angry. This person, intelligent person, was really hell bent on saying something negative to me. And I don't know, again, a lot of it I think goes to, could be anger, and at the person having anger at his or herself by, and such, where they're taking it out on someone else. In this case, they're projecting it onto me. And the person also said something about, again, the enabling comments. Imagine that, somebody complaining about that. Well, enabling comments on here is not going to really make or break me in terms of, any popularity or what have you. And, the thing is, too, there was a time, when I had, remember, some of you may remember some time ago when I did actually have comments enabled. See, the problem was a lot of part of the reason I did, or one of the reasons I should say, in which I disabled the comments, was because it was very time consuming. There were some days where it was taking me up to like 2.5 hours to answer all the comments, and I felt like I needed to answer at least most of them, just to be fair. Some people will say, well, Edwin, you don't need to answer all the comments, and I understand that, but I do feel a need to. Now, there's some comments if somebody's just saying, well, good job, Edwin, naturally I don't have to give a written reply to that. I could just hit the like symbol, the thumbs up on it or whatever. But still, there's a lot of there's a lot of comments and such which are made where you would feel you would need to answer them. But anyways, really not much more I would say on this. I just wish if somebody was going to, if they want to say something hateful, at least, use your actual name, show me who you are when you're doing this, instead of being cryptic and, Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous regarding it. I mean, if you want to be that brave to make a negative statement toward me, at least, use your name. It reminds me of something funny that happened many years ago. A friend of mine that got a call from an anonymous source. I guess he or she must have blocked their number out or something. And he said something like, "Be a man, show your name." I guess in this case it'd be a man or woman, because I don't know what gender this person was. Again, I'm thinking it was likely a woman that wrote this based on the reasoning I stated earlier in the video. But anyways, really, again, not a whole lot more I would add on this. I would just hope that maybe in a plea, again, I would plead to others, and I don't like to beg. It's unbecoming to beg. I understand that, but sometimes we have to humble ourselves when, people don't, respond from a constructive, regular plea. It's the fact that, I really do need, the assistance, and I wouldn't be stating it unless it was true. So, really, whatever anybody can do in terms of the GoFundMe, or living situation, or, even astrology charts, from, that I can, benefit from, that to me, I mean, I still really need the assistance, but, I know this is gonna fall on deaf ears for the most part, but I'm just gonna put that out there. Anyway, and I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I need to say, regarding, the situation, and what was stated, in response to the lack of the support in the astrology community. And it's just amazing. It's a lack of support, and there's not even, and most people, even people that I had talked with for some time, have inexplicably, a lot of them have stopped communicating with me, and it's terrible that things have gotten to that point. The person that left that negative comments about me, and on that Instagram post that said, that I'm, something about, the fact that I'm, 55 years old, which isn't the case. I'm 53 actually. The person obviously, person may not have majored in math, or, really did well in their math studies. I'd hate for that person to have, basic algebra equation, like quadratic equation, or even trying to solve an isosceles triangle. I think the person may have difficulty in doing so. I hope he or she didn't try to major in math later on in life. But anyway, that being said, it says something about 50 being 55 years old, and it's terrible what I'm doing at 55 years old. Well, the thing is, you can be of a certain age, but it doesn't mean you have all your abilities available to you. Some of you may know I have the revocable, at this point in time, nerve damage, which prevents me from doing a lot of different things in my life. There's certain limitations and restrictions. I can't even operate a motor vehicle because of the extensive nerve damage to my arms. And people don't, they make their blanket statements, and they don't really know, I don't think, the full gamut of the person's life situation. Or even if they hear things, or they know something about, they're deliberately maybe avoiding that and acting like that those things don't exist. They don't want to hear that part of the person's story. They just want to hear the beat of their own drum, and what they believe, what they decided to believe in a person. It's almost like, if you don't like somebody, all you're going to do is see the negative in them. You're not going to see the positive. You're not going to see, the things about them that might truly alter your opinion of him or her. Those we see, generally, people, I think, see what they choose to see in a lot of cases. They don't, really always want to see the overall picture. But the thing is, again, a lot of the difficulties I have is due to having the nerve damage, and I can't substantially work a lot of jobs. So that's another thing people have to realize and understand as well. The person made the statement again, about me being that age and not being able to, and doing, what I'm doing. Actually called me grandpa. That was the first. I made a post on Facebook, kind of laughed it off a little. I said, hey, I finally arrived as an old man. It was the first official time, that somebody called me grandpa. It was like a historical moment for me. And but I understand I'm an older person now, and I am old, compared to some people. Say time flies when you're having fun, and even when you're not. Unfortunately, it seems like just the other day I was like 35 years old, and now I'm going to be 54 July 1st. So I mean, it's just unbelievable the way, it's like the time just hit an accelerator button on me. But you know what I would say, all modesty aside, my Venus and Leo will boast that, a lot of people would be fortunate to look as good as I do at my age. There's people that are a lot a lot younger than me, and their hair is already, a lot of their hair is gray and or white, and they just, you hear about people having strokes at a relatively young age, people that are just in bad shape walking around, with a cane, whether it's due to a stroke or whatever it might be, heart attacks, people in their 30s. So, I have to consider myself blessed from a physical standpoint. Yes, I do have that extensive nerve damage, but as far as my general look and appearance, it's still better than even a lot of people that are younger than I am. And I do believe that for a fact. Maybe, genes may play a role in that, but also, too, having, Cancer, Sun, Gemini, Moon, Taurus, Ascendant, those three signs, I would say, all age gracefully. Now, the Moon, I don't really believe has much, if any, real actual effect on one's, appearance. Um, and the thing is, I don't think I have, my moon being in Gemini, I don't think I have a lot of, really much of any, if any, Gemini, physical characteristics. But still, that can give, a youthful soul, and having that still that youthful energy, which may, at least keep me young in spirit. And, zodiac sign Cancer, tends to age gracefully. Taurus rising can be very late and graying, I would say. So I do have, the certain elements which do help that. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.